I don't know if the boss Garage watches my channel a lot. I don't know why I'd watch my shitbox channel. Hey, if you don't watch his channel, you should go over there and check it out. It's fucking badass as all fuck. But anyway, long story short, I'd like to see one of his trucks, and or a truck that he's heard about, take this much fucking whooping. I don't think there is one. I'm calling you out, bud.
It would have been fun ripping around in that swamp at a little bit higher speed.
Yeah, the swamp really ate those tracks. It was really bogging down.
I used to use it to dig black muck, and the thing sat for 10 years and fired right up.
So the coolest thing is steering wheel actually works. It's connected to the tracks.
Come on, girl, more power! On the last episode, you've seen us take care of a bunch of stuff on the Sherman part itself that goes underneath this truck. Bigger engine, automatic transmission, winch, brakes, hydraulic pump, and a bunch of other stuff. In this episode, we're getting the truck ready. Seats, console, shifting, steering, wiring, and some other stuff.
So now I feel like a big rig trucker, you know, those guys that got the stick shift all the way up at the ceiling?
You should put 8-track in here, that would be cool.
All right, so I would hazard a guess that this is one of the most abused pickup trucks on the internet. Now, that's saying something because zip ties, we all know Slave Lake.
Oh yeah! Yeah! Oh, it's got wheels, but I don't think they're spinning.
That's a pretty abused engine, but this truck landed in a swamp, used as a tank, mice, mold, moss, but we're gonna fix it up. Vince, you gonna fix my truck?
This one? Right. It's nice truck.
It has some history, and it's not bad. The box is actually probably savable, but the cab is pretty rough. It's pretty banged up, pretty rusty. So I know you guys are half and half on the fence as to whether we should put this thing back on again. But if we were to change it to anything else, we'd have to do a pile more welding on the frame and that. So this one's going back on again, but we're gonna make it a little better. We're gonna wire it up and see what is actually working. We're gonna put the 471 under the hood with a stack coming out to run a winch. And we're gonna put the fuel tank in the back.
What? It's better than my Dodge.
Everything's better than a Dodge. This box is in better shape than my Silverado and the F350. So change of plans, we're gonna do full frame off restoration.
Sarcasm?
You think?
All right, so we got the tank mounted in the back of the bed here. This will keep all the water and everything out. The issue is that there's a lot of fun inside this tank. This tank is almost full, and we've already driven the tank underwater. So I'm thinking with the price of fuel these days, we'll probably just add a fast. That'll pull the water out, no problem. We'll have nice clean fuel for our V6 and lots of fun to be had rather than spending more fuel money. Here we go. All right, so I've peeled out most of the interior, and the truck actually isn't that bad. If you see here, let me get rid of this insulation here. It's really just a hole in the front floorboard there, and I expected the truck to be worse than it is. But if we were ever to take this truck off and put it on the road and do anything with it, we'll likely put it on a new frame with a, say, a Duramax or something. But anyway, a lot of crap in here yet. I'm gonna pull the headliner down, just clean it up a little bit so people actually want to ride in the tank, and no tetanus required. Here we go. All right, we're back at Tuesday. think he's got a C10 right there. See it? Cap on it. Beautiful. See if he'll trade me this slightly lighter bench seat for the bench seat out of that thing.
Oh, it is. That's baby blue, isn't it?
Steering column? Nope. It didn't start. On to the next one. The seat's not bad though. It's blue. That's blue, right? It's better than what we got. Mind if we trade?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. I'm gonna take steering column, see if I can get that working, and then maybe the dash. Somebody took good care of this. They did a paint job. Used to be red, but they went to the extent of like painting the whole dash and everything. Take this cover maybe too. Ours is a little bit cracked. Do you mind if I take it?
Yeah.
Oh no way! You know this is gonna turn into an all-out restoration. I mean, they're in the truck.
Wow, 73 to 87, $1,000 each.
I might have to take the carpet too.
Gross. You that guy?
No, hypocrisy, it's terrible. I think we're gonna take all the effort to do that. At least put it on straight. I mean, it's begging to come with.
Yeah, take that long, kid. Okay.
Awesome. Then you might be able to get rid of this one. What if we come back and drive over it with the tank?
Yeah, let's do it up.
There we go.
Oh, check out the grill. Oh,
And-
broken,
and-
bro.
Oh man.
How does this happen? What a score.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
I should just take the whole truck.
This day's turned out pretty good.
It's a good day. Always a good day here Tuesday. Oh, that's just too cool. Awesome. All right. Pull the bench seat, a bunch of other stuff. I'll go from there. But right on. Thanks, man. Look at me. I'm from 1999.
Don't worry, it's gonna fit one day.
So luckily Scott stopped by in a completely unrelated incident. I'm like, Scott, we gotta go to Tuesday. You've never gone to Tuesday's. It's amazing. And they have something that would look amazing in your truck.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think the old Chevys are wider than the new Dodges.
Definitely. They are wider. It won't even fit.
Yeah, it wouldn't work sideways. We wanted to drive through town.
Oh, I
and,
think you
like,
dented
go
my
up and
truck.
down.
You totally dented the bumper when we went there.
What are you talking about?
It's dented.
You didn't do it.
I
want a
stepped
new-
on this side.
I want a new bumper.
I'm looking where that nice step is for the GMs. I can't wait to put this in.
Right on tank? Yeah. Right off the mirror.
They're all right in the truck. Oh yeah. Get Vince to weld it in solid tomorrow.
Looks good. It does. Need a magic gun on it.
It actually looks good, he said. It's like, put the fuel tank there on purpose. How awesome is that? Complete fluke. It's rested the same. It's perfect.
What did the hole in the windshield?
He made an air ball bearing gun. Shot it and it bounced back. He said the ball bearing went between the two of them because it hit the truck somewhere. And he's like, he loaded it up again and went through the windshield.
That's crazy.
I'm like, why would you do that? Now the dash is gonna get wet.
That's your biggest problem, eh?
Hey guys, a lot of you guys were saying that the truck is kind of ugly and I should swap it up with something else. But, you know, with a little bit of love and a little bit of attention, we can make it look really good. Like last night, I spent hours ceramic coating it. Watch how the water just beads off. Amazing. Okay guys, we got it cleaned, we got it inside. I got to put it on some better carts so that I can actually move it around. Taking a little break from working on the Sherman parts and this, I do too much thinking. And I know what I kind of want to do with this body. We're going to modify the frame to make this fit the Sherman. We're not going to restore this truck. More than likely, it's going to get damaged. It's already damaged. It looks like it's tweaked a little bit. Lots of holes in it. It's got decent patina, but legally we need to fix the holes to get it on the road. And then the patina gets messed up when you do that. So what we're going to do is make this thing operable from the cab. We're going to make it shift nice with some hydraulic cylinders. We're going to have the engine under the hood, the engine under the back, all the throttles on off controlled from inside the cab. Kind of want heat in the cab, wipers, lights. We might put a little bit of an exoskeleton on it because the engine's not going to fit underneath the hood with the hood closed. Hood is completely tweaked. Hinges were rusted and the hood was kinked. No saving that. So we'll pull the hood. Ideally, I want all the controls to work and still be able to tilt the whole cab, the whole truck up on hydraulics. So I like projects like this because it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be practical and work. And I get to use my imagination on some of this stuff. And some of the stuff I got kind of cooking up here is pretty exciting. So here we go.
Christmas present for the kids. New sled.
Okay, so the wiring doesn't look great. I just took positive that went to a positive feed here and then mirrored everything I thought might have been positive together. And pretty well nothing works. The only thing that works is the turn signals. On the front and back, on the left, it was working. Probably worked twice and then it quit. We got the front one here. That. Woo! We've got the right side. But other than that, nothing else works. Lights don't work, horn doesn't work, interior light doesn't work, radio doesn't work. So that means I'm gonna stop there and just call her quits. What we are gonna do, oh, it doesn't have a tack, son of, oh, dang it. I was thinking both of the engines have a tack out. We could probably get cables long enough to run tacks. Get rid of the speedometer on the one because I've got the gauges from Tuesday's truck, but it's not a tack. It's a stupid speedometer and then just your fuel. So that's basically worthless. You don't really need a speedometer, but I thought it'd be cool to have a tack on both engines in there and then have an oil pressure and that working. I don't think we're gonna worry about that. What we are gonna worry about is how to beef up the back. I gotta cut a hole in the back so that the engine pokes through. I need to brace the side so we can tilt it. And I need to cut the frame in the front here and make it bigger so that it fits around the 4-cylinder. Lots to do, but not a whole lot of time to do it. I'm going to use the old shifter to actually put the transmission into gear. There's nothing cooler than actually pulling the handle and making it go into drive. Just cause it makes me smile just thinking that. And I think we'll just have push button starts for the other engines. I'll grab some stuff out of Amazon and make it simple that way. And then just start over because it's not worth screwing around with this old garbage. So for now, I'm gonna yank out everything that I don't need underneath. Get rid of the fuel tanks and then get a game plan together. So here we go. Okay, so finally got the passenger door open and somebody messed around with this for quite a while because they took the door panel off. The handle's broken already. So this has been a problem for a while. Now, I spent about 20 minutes playing with this stupid thing and I couldn't get it to open. And then I just flicked something down in there somewhere and then it opened. So I think it thinks that it's locked. Somehow this isn't moving enough. Now I don't know exactly what I did, but I'm just gonna spray a pile of WD-40 in there. I think that's the handle there. There's something, and spray some stuff in here. Let's go let it sit for a minute. And then the trick is to just kind of okay, see if that fixes it. Nice car cover. Nice! Okay, got the door open. We got a carpet in, everything from Tuesday. Now I got to mount the seats and figure out the console for my shifter. Doesn't that shifter look awesome? Can you see it yet? Can you see it? I have to stick around, see what I'm getting into. I'm very excited about this. Here we go. Okay, so first things first, you gotta fix this hole in the floor. Mainly because we want to take this thing to shows and have kids sit in it, and I don't want them falling through the floor. That would be a lawsuit. So I think this is a trunk out of the GTO or one of Rick Osborne's old projects, can't remember. I think because of this it's a floor. But now it's the universal fit. I'm like almost done. So just cut a little bit around here, self-tap it in or weld it in, I don't know, here we go. Okay, so I got the floor patched. She looks fantastic. Solid as a rock. Don't worry about those little holes, it's fine. Now the seats, it's kind of an issue because they're in a little bit crooked. They're a little bit high here and my legs are a little bit thicker than that. So we gotta drop this down. So I can do 2 things, 3 things, or multiple things. I get new seats. I can cut the frame rail off, or I can notch the floor down so that this rail sits down lower. Now this side's probably pretty good actually. Like that's leaning down quite a bit. It'd be fine if I set every vehicle up for my 6'4" build, but my wife needs reliable transport to work too. So I'd like to keep the seat rail going forward and back. It's got the seat belts and everything built in so we can follow all the ministry's guidelines for a safe vehicle on the road. So I think what I'll do is just cut that floor out, and that'll give me a nice hump on that side, and this should be good. I might have to tappy the floor in a little bit just to dent that inside hump in a little bit, but I think that's okay. I don't know why they put a big giant hump there. I'm gonna take that hump out. Here we go. Okay, big hole there. Got a chunk of, this is flooring from a Master, I think. And I had a hole for the master cylinder there. I'll just trim the edges, slide her back a bit, bang that down a little bit, even though there's a brace underneath there. And yeah, it'll be perfect. Here we go. Okay, quickly buzzed that in there, not bad. Kind of butt welded everything, except at the back there, that's where it got messy, but not bad. Throw the seat in there and see what that's like. Okay, so we got the floors patched, so there's no more holes, and now we can build the center console. So I got the seats so they can fit. Both sides are notched, and the seats fit pretty good actually. I just have to shim this up a hair. I went like ½ inch too low. So for the console, I can have it about 1 foot high, and then back to the back of the seats. We'll put the shifters nice and close by the steering wheel and the driver's seat. But I'll probably just notch this, probably because right about here is going to be a big giant hole where the shifters go through the floor and the cylinders are underneath the floor. So might as well start with that, then we can just self-tap some little angle iron down to the floor and then build it up to the dash here, coming right out nicely right here, and then angled. Oh, it's going to be beautiful, but yeah, here we go. Okay, so I welded everything solid with the bigger MIG now. Should have cleaned the steel a little better, but that's all temporary. Basically just making this out of whatever's laying around the shop. This is the plate off of the air dryer from the K100. And I'm basically just gonna bolt this to the bottom of the floor, and then wherever it lands, I'll put a piece across and then drill straight through, so the plate will be connected to the bottom of this. That should keep everything nice and tight, secure it down to the floor. That'll be perfect. I don't know what that length is though. I'm just gonna leave lots of room going down below. All the handles and all the cylinders and stuff, of course, are from Princess Auto. And all the bushings and pins. Basically, I just gotta make a holder that straddles these, and then I'm able to move them back and forth. I might trim them just a little bit so that there's no interference. And then this is the width. So pretty straightforward. Yeah, let's get into it. so I just tacked them together on both sides and then drilled straight through. That should get me pretty close, but I'll stick the bolt through when I weld it just to try and keep it from tipping, and then I might have to run the drill bit through again afterwards. So that'll be the U. So there's those. Just tack a weld on there just to hold that pin in place, but that'll pivot. We'll weld that rod to here, but I don't know my height yet, so we'll leave that alone. This plate essentially will sit like this with a bracket that comes down and the pin that, and then just a angle line that comes down. I'll just weld that to either side there. Put some grease fittings in there so we can actually grease it and maintain it. I'm gonna move, it's pretty tight side by side, so I'm gonna move the shifters to the far side of the console, and I have a bunch of toggle switches here for lights and fancy stuff and whatever. And I think since I only need 6 inches of stroke, I can probably put a couple cup holders in there too yet. So, like, life is good. Driving the tank, you gotta have the coffee. There we go. Okay, so as plans change, they always do, even halfway through a project. I'm gonna stop at the console for just a bit because they are calling for a pile of snow tomorrow night. So I have a full day. It is dark now, it is 6 o'clock at night. But if I can weld those beams in underneath and make it so that I can tilt that up and cut the hole in the box, I might be able to put the truck back on the tank outside tomorrow with the payloader and then push the tank inside and then finish it up inside. I wanted to do as much possible to the truck itself before it went back on, because then I'd have to climb up and down all the time. And it's just really annoying. But if it gets dumping of snow on there, it might be like that for the next week or two. And I kind of want to have some fun with it in the snow. So, cheer me on. I'm going to start by cutting the brackets off that are on here. Pretty boring stuff. Gotta take the rear shack. Oh no, I can leave that one on. I just have to take that shackle off and take all the rivets and bolts out that are in the way. Like these ones. So we'll cut those off, clean up the frame. This is where it bolts to in the back. So the radiator is like right here, which kind of sucks because the engine's almost in the way of the roll bar. But we'll brace all the way until it drops down, and then we'll cut down a little bit. And then I just got to cut the top and the bottom of the C off to make room for the radiator and engine. So we'll do that. It's just a lot of cutting and grinding and really boring stuff, but we'll get her done. Here we go. Okay, so I grinded where I'm gonna weld. Just top and bottom there. At the same time, I just grinded the rivets off. I gotta save the torches. I'm running low on fuel. They're closed now. And I gotta cut some holes probably around where the rivets are for the cross members. I'll grind those off, but I'll torch a hole through there and then just weld the rivet to the frame. So I'm gonna let the dust settle because it's a little foggy in here right now. Put the kids to bed and I'll come back. Here we go. Okay, so I got that all welded in, nicely stitched along the bottom, along the top, and all the holes on the inside welded in the back. So I'm confident in that. This is the hole that the I-beam sits in, so I had to stick back so that this will swivel on that I-beam. And then I'm going to, this is the same thickness as the I-beam, so I'll stick another plate from here and then drill another hole right straight through, because this will be the hinge point, so that looks pretty weak. So if we add a whole other quarter plate, because the frame itself isn't very strong. So the point of that angle was to stiffen up the frame so I can cut the inside of the C, and then I thought, well, if I have that, then I might as well put 2 big massive cylinders in there and be able to lift the whole truck up. So we got those from Princess Auto. Obviously, they're the same color, everything else is the shifters. And once that beam is in place, we can get back on the console. Real tanks have access holes to get at the engine, and it was kind of a pain. Get it, 1, the rad will stick up to about here, and 2, it was a real pain to fill that up with water before because it was so low and this engine's much bigger. So Basically just gonna cut a big giant hole in here and then make maybe like a nice plexiglass cover for it with 2 exhaust pipes sticking out that we can lift up around the exhaust, because if we want to work on it, then we can do that without a giant truck being in the way. But before I do that, I gotta weld the plate on the other side. Lots of fun. Here we go. Okay, so that's all welded. Those move really nice and free. So that's, I went underneath the floor, threw it in real quick. That's where I want to measure. That is to the bottom of the cylinder. So I'll weld these in like so. And then just right on the top there. And then I picked up these in town. These are just 3-point hitch. $10 each. I think I got a steal on that one. And we'll weld those to the tips here, because as the cylinder, as you shift, you go forward and you go down. So I gotta be able to pivot both ways. So just cut that off, weld that to the end, and hopefully that works. Here we go. Nice. I love it. Only need 4 inches of stroke, so we're gonna drop that right down. Probably keep the handles up about this high. Give you some strength to push and pull on there, but that's about twice as long as what the bottom is. Some room for cup holders here, a bunch of switches here. Nice. TV there. Frickin' A. Right on. Here we go. She is nice and crude. The top one I'll bend over and go over and around the back, and then I'll slip it underneath. The top one I'll make. I won't attach any of them. I can throw the wires through the bottom of the floor, pop this in, and then wire the truck. I think we're just about ready to roll it outside. A little bit more work. I'm gonna pop this in, but we're getting there. Here we go. What do you think, Kevin?
Wow, quite an improvement. I like the bucket seats, but I miss the smell of rat poo.
Oh. So you see what I did? I put these 2 little cylinders here.
Yeah.
And then they're connected.
So now I feel like a big rig trucker. You know those guys that got the stick shift all the way up at the ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. So don't change the angle. I gotta weld them up yet, but I'll cut them down. The other cylinders will be perpendicular to each other. So one will make it go forward and back, and then the other cylinder will make it go in the H pattern between the gears.
Where'd you pick those cuties up from, Princess Auto?
Of course I picked them up from Princess Auto.
Yeah, well, we're gonna drive this thing for the next 30 years.
The only crappy part is there's like, by the time I go to the back of the truck and back to the front, each hose is like 30 feet long and I need 4 of them. Good old V&R, they'll help us out.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Okay, I just gotta weld this up.
I like your traffic sign interior here.
Yeah, no, but
Like you got the, you know, like this is like.
Man. I got a whole cover for this. That slides right over top. Slide that over. Yeah. And then so it'll be a push button engine start right beside you and a bunch of toggle switches to make it look like an airplane. And then the top angle there is gonna be a double din stereo with a backup camera. And the backup camera will be at the shifter linkage so you can see what you're doing.
You're gonna have, you should put 8-track in here. That would be cool.
Tried the seat slider, like they work. It took quite a bit actually to.
That's good because I'm a little shorter than you.
Yeah.
Are we still gonna have the throttle on here?
Yeah. So, on is with that, but then the actual throttle will work.
Oh.
Right. So I can hook 2 cables up to the same linkage. One will just go
yeah.
slack. So I grabbed some cables, some PTO cables from
and then brake is
Princess
still clutch.
Auto.
Is that still clutch?
What's that?
The brake is still clutch?
No, brake is brake. So I put brakes on the drive shaft.
Oh, you put a caliper on it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I was
And
gonna say, where are
then
the
I'm
brakes?
gonna put slave cylinders underneath the final drives too.
So what are we using for clutch?
You don't need a clutch, just pop it in neutral. Because
right,
that
there are
works.
on there,
So
yeah.
so it's hooked up to this, and you can actually drive is drive, reverse is reverse. It's awesome.
Wow.
It's like an actual pickup.
Are we keeping the bullet hole glass?
So Phil came over. He's like, I have a windshield for that if you want it. But I'm like, almost need to leave it.
I like it.
I like it. It's just now we've got cloth interior.
You know,
So it's gonna get wet. Some idiot put carpet in his tank. So.
you gotta be comfortable, right? Like we're getting older, you know. You might need to have like make it handicap accessible. Put a ramp on the back. I gotta be able to get my electric wheelchair up in there. And the back seat doesn't have a big hole in it.
No, so that was originally, I bought that seat for the front. And then I'm like, you know what, we need like an operating station. So now it kind of matches, black dash.
I still get some of that mouse smell here. So
A little bit? Okay, yeah. I want you to feel at home.
Yeah.
And then I welded angle iron to the side.
Did you have to torch the frame?
I have to cut the C's off.
The top.
I have to cut this and the bottom one off
To fit.
around the engine because the engine's too big. And then the rad will be poking up. So then it's just like a real tank. You make like a nice engine cover that we can lift up, plexiglass so we can see it. And then when the truck tilts up, I'll just have like an exhaust that like lands on the other exhaust. And then I don't know where to point the two out.
Well, at least it won't be underwater like it was before.
No, that's right.
So that should be good. Is the air intake coming up here too?
Yeah.
So we'll be able to swamp this thing?
I'll be able to swamp this thing. But I don't want to get the carpet wet.
Well, that's a reason here. It's not a submarine.
Or put the tin back on, all the decals with the little self-tappers. You can't even see the self-tappers. I think I'm gonna put the throttle on both engines at the same time. So when we're doing shows, both, like when we drive, then you'll have 3 plumes of smoke coming out.
So you stomp on the throttle, your winch motor goes.
And it's just idling anyway.
Just for fun. Just because we need to make more noise.
Yeah. And then if the other engine dies and we need to winch out, then whatever, that throttle linkage moves.
Any of these engines got compressors on them or a spot for it?
Not yet.
We need an air horn.
Yeah, that's true.
We need an air horn. That would be cool.
Is there a hydraulic horn? Gotta be a hydraulic horn. I got a lot of hydraulics happening, not much air.
Well, we should get some air because then we can like have like some pneumatic cannon or something in the back.
Yeah, that's true.
Shoot the boss t-shirts at people.
Yeah, I was thinking, I should save that pump from the sprayer because like, if we just spray like a solid stream of diesel and gas out, that's a good flamethrower too. Forget about the air. I just gotta weld the bracket up for those 2 cylinders and then I'm ready to pull it outside. So.
You don't have to worry. See, you work in my shop, you can torch inside all day on the road record floor.
Yeah, but you pissed off all the groundhogs. Okay, I'm gonna do one little weld here on this side. It's gonna feel so amazing. You're like, oh, this is better than all of my equipment. Carpet on fire?
What would be the first piece of equipment you lit on fire when I was sitting in it?
Remember Bob? Carpet in a tank.
So you're gonna close loop it, but how are you gonna fill it?
I just gotta stick an end in the hose and suck it in.
You gotta get all the air out.
Oh, you lift the hose up and then you push and then you pull again. You ever suck in a straw?
Yeah, but it's gonna be. I think you're gonna have. It's gonna be a little spongy.
Okay, try it.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got him.
Yeah, you did get me. How's it feel?
Can I take his angle iron off?
Yeah, so they should stay put now. How awesome is that?
So one is side to side and one is
Forward and back. So I'll have it like this, right? Yeah. So you have to put it in neutral, then grab the other handle, slide it over.
I can't wait
and
to
then-
see your little shift pattern sticker on the.
This is to keep morons from driving it.
That's nice.
I thought about doing it on 1 cylinder, but the problem is when you change, like when you shift, you change the length of the other one.
Right.
So then it wouldn't work. So I figured keep.
So
the
you got
cylinders
one
separate.
cylinder to move it this way,
Yeah.
and one to move this way.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be like out of first, over, and then get back into third.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got it. Yeah. I just kind of guessed with everything. I did no measurements, so.
Okay, just kind of stick it there, and you get the Sharpie out and go.
It's tight in there. Just slide it over. Yeah. There we go. See?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Pretty
pull
fit.
the handle all the way back. Yeah. So I made it so that we can put longer cylinders in if I don't
But
get
you know
enough strut.
your handles are a little one way on the slots here.
No. I was just gonna pull that over.
We can bend the handles over. That's all good. It's all good. I can't wait to see the stickers and the instruction manual. Need a different steering wheel on here.
Put like a beautiful brown.
Yeah, you know.
Just driving my tank.
Yeah, a big bus steering wheel or something.
Yeah.
No, I think you want to one-arm it, right? Just relax and we're going on a date. My wife's like, I'm not riding in that thing. It's gross. I'm like, no. It's like I just redid the whole interior. It's friggin' awesome. It's like, oh, okay, maybe.
Did you look at it?
No. Almost out. I can feel it. Losing it. I only have like 2 feet to go. I have to notch those H-beams yet, but we can plunk it on. I just can't tilt it up yet because I don't have that second brace. I can tilt it, but then my wife's gonna collect on the life insurance policy and we don't have it. Hey! If all my measurements are correct, it should go on. Okay, so this is the ending of it, but you missed a whole section of where we put the truck back on the Sherman, and now it's inside the shop. That is on the other video where I helped Phil install the engine into the cat payloader, and then we used it to push it inside. Just take a little run at it. Now, I would have liked to do a little bit more work to the truck when it was on the ground, rather than have it sit up here, but they're calling for a ton of snow. Next video, we're gonna make the top half to the bottom half, all the wiring, get it running obviously, get it moving. I gotta cut the bed a little bit more for the engine, do the intake, a little bit, stuff like that. So it's a little out of order because again, I'm working with nature. So in our first video, we said if enough people bought t-shirts and we got enough likes that we would put a radial engine in this. You guys, a pile of comments right away saying that's not gonna work because of airflow, a bunch of other stuff. And even just seeing the V6 in there, it's already pretty tight. Can't do it with the truck on it. So unfortunately, we're not gonna put that engine in there, but we do have shirts. And your incentive to buy that shirt is you have a really cool shirt with the Shermanator on it. So check out our merch store. We got a couple things going on over there. And thanks for the support one way or another, guys. We appreciate every one of you. And we're really excited about this project. Here we go.